Despite there being so many heroes and villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there are still countless others who have yet to make the jump from the comics. Fans have been desperately waiting for the X-Men and the Fantastic Four to finally join the story, but the third episode of Loki's second season instead gave fans a hint at someone who's a bit of a deeper cut: Balder the Brave. The moment comes in a branched timeline version of Chicago in 1893, as Loki and Mobius are searching for both the rogue Ravonna Renslayer and any variants of He Who Remains they could possibly find. Just before they happen to come across a He Who Remains, in the form of fidgety inventor Victor Timely, they find what Loki refers to as a diorama, displaying a statue of Odin front and center, flanked by Thor and Balder to his left and right. Balder Odinson, better known as Balder the Brave, was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and first appeared in October 1962's Journey into Mystery number 85. As a son of Odin, Balder is a half-brother of both Thor and Loki. Like his father and siblings, Balder has roots in Norse mythology. He's based on the god Balder, who is a god most commonly associated with beauty and light. Balder has appeared in various Thor comics and stories throughout the years, but the revelation that he is a half-brother of Thor's only came in relatively recent years. He's also considered a fast, agile, and strong Asgardian warrior, and, in contrast to his brother Loki, is generally well-liked among his people and peers. Perhaps most notable of Balder's comic history is that he figures strongly into the Marvel Comics version of the Ragnarok story, which leads to the destruction of Asgard and the formation of New Asgard in Bronxton, Oklahoma. Obviously, the MCU did this story differently in 2017's Thor Ragnarok, where Balder was not a character on screen. The Loki Season 2 episode may have marked the first official reference to Balder the Brave in the MCU's history, but the character has come close to a debut multiple times before. While Balder appeared in early versions of the script for 2013's Thor the Dark World, before eventually being removed, it's his reported near appearance in 2021's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness that feels more interesting and notable. In that movie's Illuminati scene, it was reported that the movie was kind of freewheeling when it came to which characters and which actors exactly would be included. Elizabeth Olsen famously said in a Vanity Fair video, for instance, that she had, quote, never met John Krasinski, who plays an alternate universe version of Reed Richards, despite the fact that the two shared the screen and dialogue in the scene. As it turns out, Krasinski's role was actually at one point planned to not be Reed Richards at all, but rather Balder the Brave, and he was said to be played by Daniel Craig. This only fell through supposedly because of issues with COVID-19 lockdown and travel. While this kind of reporting is not the most reliable, Elizabeth Olsen said during an appearance on the Happy Sad Confused podcast that she did believe this to be the plan. In fact, film concept Daryl Warner, who was working on Multiverse of Madness, shared his concept art of Balder to Instagram. Ironically, Craig himself denied these rumors during his press tour for Glass Onion. Multiverse of Madness costume designer Graham Churchyard said in an interview that he'd even begun designing Balder's costume, dropping a few more hints about Balder's history of almosts, saying, quote, we got very far designing Balder the Brave, and then we were waiting on casting. I took it to a prototype stage. We were kind of in that design thing, getting fabrics together and ideas and waiting for an actor. Poor Balder the Brave. He almost made Thor 1, and Thor 2, and Thor 3, if I can simplify that. Then it's just like, yeah, he's gonna get an appearance. Poor guy. I've seen designs in Marvel's archive book of Balder's helmet going back to Kenneth Branagh's Thor, so he's been waiting a long time, and I don't think he's gonna make an appearance anytime soon. But, here we are. Balder has made his MCU debut, sort of. While it doesn't really count as an on-screen appearance, a statue and name drop is at least a sign that the character is being thought of. There are a few potential projects where the character's inclusion would make sense, mainly more of the Loki series, a future Thor movie, or whatever is being set up for Brett Goldstein's Hercules, who appeared at the end of Thor Love and Thunder. What did you think of this episode of Loki? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe for coverage of Loki as a new episode premieres every week. And remember to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.